UFO IT. Which is a professional group of highly educated UFO slash paranormal field investigators. Field investigators.
Check out Night Dreams' website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com.
Hey, this is Gary from Night Dreams Talk Radio. I want to welcome a new sponsor to our show, PhoenixShaving.com. I know what you're thinking, right? Oh, another disposable razor company. Well, the fact is they're not. You remember the razors that your father and his father shaved with? Did you ever notice they didn't have the embarrassing razor burn or ingrown hairs or the razor bumps after they shaved? Did you notice they were also relaxed after they were done shaving? Well, the problem is these big corporations want to sell you razor after razor after razor. Think about how much money you spend a year on razors. Or do you use electric razor? Then you're going to find out what razor burn is. So you need to check out Phoenix Shaving Starter Kits. They come complete with the soap, the brush, and a 2.5-month supply of blades. And the most important part of it, an all-metal razor built to last generations. So, hey, you can donate it to one of your sons when they turn 18. Check out PhoenixShaving.com and tell them that Gary from Night Dream said, hey, I want one. That's PhoenixShaving.com now.
Check out Night Dreams' website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com.
Well, here it is on a Saturday night. Beautiful weather up here. And I have, the new host for this time slot starting on Sundays from 7 to 8, Michael W. Hall, who's also known as the paranormal lawyer. Hey, hi, Michael.
Hello, Gary. Thank you for allowing me to join you tonight. This is going to be a fun show.
Well, it should be. Boy, the weather was so crazy today. You know, I got on my motorcycle today, and my daughter just had eye surgery on Friday, and she wanted to go, so I loaded her on the back of the bike, and we went for a nice ride. I didn't have to wear a jacket. I just put my vest on. I was just in heaven today.
Oh, I'll bet.
Well, I was, honestly, till I ate that burrito.
Good for you.
Yeah, that's what you say. You didn't eat it. So what are you doing tonight? You're up where now? Arlington?
Yeah. Let me tell you what's going on here with the UFO I-Team and the paranormal lawyer. We are up in Arlington, Washington. Basically the wilds of Arlington, which is out of town, on a beautiful location called the Double Luck Ranch. And we are doing a Skywatch event tonight. We have got all of our technical equipment set up. We've got night vision. We've got stop-action photography. We've got infrared. And we are going to see if we can capture some anomalous activity on video, which we do periodically, and we post it obviously to the the Facebook page, UFO I-Team, with a lowercase I. Tonight, though, what we'll be doing as well, after the broadcast tonight with yourself, we are going to live stream on Facebook our entire Skywatch event so that people actually around the world can join us. And we have these huge monitors that are hooked up to the cameras, and so people can actually see on the Facebook Live what we're looking at up there in the sky.
Oh, wow. What type of equipment did you guys all bring? I mean, I'm sure you brought some infrared and stuff like that, but what other type of stuff do you guys got?
Well, Lee Strauss is our technical guy with the cameras, and he has 3 tripods set up right now out in the pasture here at the ranch, and one of them there's 2 Luna cameras. One of them's 2014, the other one's a 2016, I believe. Really nice video cameras. I'm not sure. I'm not a real technical guy, so I don't know all the details of the parameters and statistics. But man, these things can bring the night sky alive like you would not believe. They need very little light, and they light up the monitors that we have on the tripods so brightly that sometimes you've got to turn down the gain so that the moon doesn't interfere, or even bright stars like Venus do not interfere with what we're trying to watch. Because we're trying to get way out there with these cameras.
What is the strangest things you recently saw out there in the sky? I mean, when you've been stargazing out for like UFOs or strange things.
Well, I'm glad you asked. This is a good time to kind of explain to the audience what we do and what we have captured already on tape and on film. One night I remember about, it was about this time last year. We were out here in the North Cascades region again, setting up our equipment and tripods. One of them is this stop-action camera that I was telling you about. And what Lee Strauss does is he sets this thing for, I believe he says it's a 20-second exposure of the night sky, and then a 5-second lapse where it's off, and then another 20-second exposure. And it goes like that for hours. We just let it run. And then what he does is he reviews the most pertinent parts of that tape or digital images to figure out if there's anything anomalous that he can pick out. And there was an interesting thing that we found last year when we went through the tape of our Skywatch, where there was a streak. Let me just explain it to you. It was a kind of a streak that looked like it could be a shooting star coming straight down diagonally from the upper right-hand corner into the middle of the image. And then there was an image, a gap of the 5-second gap. And then when you started it up again for another 20 seconds, the same streak went out and then started up. But the interesting thing is, it could be explained, of course, why there's a gap between the 2 streaks, because obviously the camera was off for 5 seconds. But in reality, what happened is we realized that this streak started and stopped in the same frame. So in reality, we've got something moving so slow for 20 seconds and then another 20 seconds that it came onto the image as one frame. So it was not a shooting star. A satellite wouldn't even move that slow, nor would the International Space Station. So we are trying to analyze this streak as much as possible and get some more enhancements of it, try to figure out what the heck that thing was. Obviously, if you take the whole scenario and put it together, this streak was coming in the upper right-hand corner of this frame and then going down to the bottom left-hand corner of the frame, but it disappears before it gets to the edge of the frame, and the same thing at the top. It just appears. So we've got some interesting theories that there are things up there that potentially come in and out of phase, either cloaking or they are coming from different dimensions and manifesting in our reality. That's what we're kind of searching at.
And leaving the same way they come in, too. And that is, I was just going to say that, I mean, maybe a different dimension or something. I find it so interesting, you said it almost comes to a stop, or it came to a stop.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, satellites can't do that. They're moving at such a terrific speed. And that is what's really interesting. I noticed things like that when years ago with my first infrared pair of binoculars I had. I was watching things, going, like maybe I first thought it was a satellite, but then all of a sudden it changed its pattern and zigged out a complete different way.
Whoa!
No way a satellite it can do that. And that's what I really like about stargazing. And when you have the right equipment, you can see it. And I just think there's so much out there that it's totally unaccountable for. And I just wonder how much longer the government can kind of keep covering it up.
That's exactly what I'm thinking on this, Gary, is that, by the way, if people have not heard, there are folks out there that have not heard this, but the government is starting to disclose these things. For instance, December 16th of last year, the New York Times article came out where the New York Times interviewed the Department of Defense officers and the Pentagon top brass, and they both confirmed the existence of this program where they're studying unidentified aerial phenomena. Of course, what they do is they try to put this in the terms of a potential threat to our national security, and that's how they get their funding, because obviously the Pentagon and the Department of Defense is not going to be putting together a program that doesn't have anything to do with defending our nation or the world. So, but it was interesting to find out that, it's so exciting actually to be living at this time in the history of mankind where the actual government in charge is admitting the existence of extraterrestrial vehicles. Now, of course, that begs the question, who the heck is driving these things, right? And I believe that's probably the next step.
Well, you know what I find, too? You realize it's two things going for what you're doing. Technology, the cameras you guys use, the CMOS, the sensors, being able, to be so much more sensitive than film is nowadays. The quality of the lenses and everything else, what you can do with a camera, you couldn't do 10 years or 15 years ago or even 5 years ago. And then, Michael, you got the internet. So when somebody sees something out there strange, they get on their little computer and then they start giving the location where you can kind of go look and see if you can find it. And it's getting kind of harder and harder for the government to debunk it. Because, before that, before you had the internet, let's face it, there was bulletin boards for a while before the internet.
Yeah.
You could post up, stuff up on a bulletin board. But now you post it up and everybody sees it in a matter of seconds.
Yes, it's very exciting. And I think the deep state is a little worried about the whole thing getting out of hand, and they're losing control of the spin. So I believe that's why they are coming forth with some of these disclosures at this point, trying to stay on top of the public knowledge and the public opinion about what's going on. It is going to be an amazing paradigm shift at one point here, and I believe it's coming really, really quickly in the fact that if indeed they are going to admit the existence of the extraterrestrial presence, not only in the universe, but probably on this planet as well.
Oh, yeah.
People are going to go, man, how long have you known this? Why didn't you tell us this?
Well, that's,
and indeed, if they can,
that's what is scary. You know, you go back to Eisenhower's, time.